Hello, it's me. And so behind me, as usual, you'll see my home screen. And we've got a few articles on there. Russia attacks Kyiv. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Apparently people are demanding answers because there was a fight and a white kid was attacked by people who weren't white. And, well, apparently he was attacked by people who weren't white. Possibly immigrants, and he was arrested. Also, in other news, is Burnham just Starmer 2.0? Yes, and they've got Jeremy Corbyn to pass his opinion on that. On another interesting note, we've got the black belt barrister here. About Andy Burnham, something feels off about this. Is it all rigged? Yes, it is rigged. And so here we are. Doesn't it feel like we're under attack? The citizens of the UK specifically. Doesn't it feel as though we're under attack? We've got drugs in our food that we didn't ask for. We've got drugs in the air, sprayed by planes in geoengineering exercises that we didn't ask for, we didn't vote for. There are drugs on a train, of course, if you remember. And, of course, chemicals in our drinking water. Not to mention, of course, politics. More and more I'm beginning to feel like the British political system, the machine that runs this country, doesn't belong to us, the citizen. I have felt for quite some time that it doesn't belong to us, but now more than ever. With meddling from private interests, lobbyists, backroom deals, blackmail, casual backhanders, and foreign government interference, it's difficult to know who in our political class is actually fighting for us anymore. Keir Starmer himself said some years ago he spent every day of his life working for Israel. Well, that's fine, but surely his priority should be working for the UK. And maybe then working for Israel. But no, he stated his priority was Israel. And that to me seems like a bit of a shame. And bearing what I've just said in mind, the BBC have just, the BBC, and I am again going to avoid saying tinfoil hat time. The BBC have decreed that we will need a TV licence to watch online content. Yep, online content. And to make this happen, to make this seem legitimate, they've decided also that they're going to get YouTube to prioritise state media, i.e. the BBC. They're supposed to give preference to programmes that the British government has okayed, has deemed worthy of our attention. Now, at this point, you should be asking yourself, what's wrong with this picture? The BBC, in its infinite wisdom, with the collusion or cooperation of who knows who in intelligence and secret services, has decided that YouTube now will be an arm of the government. In the same way that the BBC has been an arm of the government here in the UK for the last, 30 years or so? Possibly even longer. And again, I must state at this point, this is just my opinion from the things that I've read and witnessed. Not to mention, of course, the BBC's undeniable problem with people who rise to the top there and have very questionable personal lives. And that's one of the things that gave me the distinct impression that the BBC was in fact an extension of secret services, the dirty tricks campaigners. It's been well known for quite some time now that honeypot traps have been sprung on all kinds of influential individuals in order to then at a later date coerce them to toe the line, to put out a message on public broadcasting that they want you to hear. And if you look at it from an espionage point of view, the BBC and the secret services are a perfect fit for each other. And so the question isn't, are they? More like, why wouldn't they? Add to this the rather incredible news that Lisa Nandy over the weekend said that her department was withdrawing from X. Now, to some people, X is the Wild West, and it is kind of the Wild West. And that's the point, isn't it? when you have a platform which is ostensibly free speech, you're going to get all kinds of crazy people saying all kinds of crazy things. And it should be left to the various communities to fight back, to debate. And in that debate, somehow come to a consensus which will give us a balanced final view. I much prefer that model of commentary on a platform than the kind of model that the British government is trying to foist upon us. But yes, her department is leaving X, and they say it's because of online abuse and misinformation. Rather rich coming from somebody in Keir Starmer's government. And one can only wonder at this point, with a government department leaving X, a platform that many regard as the last true free speech platform, how far will the British government go? How low will they stoop in order to continue this program of curtailing of freedoms, curtailing of free speech, as I see it at least, in order to replace it with their own version of those models? Yep, life is tough here in the UK, certainly with the cost of living crisis getting worse and worse. The last thing we need is a political onslaught also. But again, that's where we are. And I don't know if you feel as I do, but I feel as though I'm getting a right kicking from every single avenue that's supposed to be helping me, that's supposed to be protecting me as a citizen, that's supposed to be looking out for my health and mental welfare. And the appointment of Andy Burnham isn't, I'm afraid, going to make anything better. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Do like, subscribe and share. It really would help the channel. And until next time, do look after yourselves